the Chamber. Tell us all about your business. What's your future plans? Tune in when you can.
Thank you to our 2023 corporate sponsors, Lake Lawn Resort, Cunis Auto Group, Geneva 10, Delavan Health Services, Simon's Realty Group, City of Delavan, and Piggly Wiggly. And a special shout out to Stream Dudes for producing and recording this podcast.
Hi, this is Malinda from the Chamber, and we are super excited to have our second Chit Chat with the Chamber. And even more exciting is we have our guest speaker today, which is Mayor Ryan. And so welcome to Stream Dude's wonderful recording studio.
Hello. Good morning. It's
Good morning.
A pleasure to be with you.
Thank you for coming in to talk with us. I'm super excited that you are our guest today. But if you don't mind, I'm going to do a couple announcements to get them out of the way because I'm too afraid once we get chit-chatting, we won't get through this.
Certainly.
So I want to let people know about a couple cool things coming up in the Chamber. Obviously, we just finished our 8th week of the market at Tower Park. And I really want to let folks know that next Thursday, which is the 24th, the Delavan-Delavan High School Jazz Band and Pep Band will be coming down to perform. So I'm super excited about that. And then we have only 3 more weeks after that. So please come down to the market. We have tons of produce, wonderful crafts and goodies, and lots of yummy breads and everything. So please come down to the market. Definitely put on your calendars that the Delavan-Delavan Pep Band and Jazz Band will be here next Thursday, the 24th. A couple other things I want to talk about is we have a membership meeting the second Tuesday of every month. The next one will be September 12th at Pepperoni Pub, and we will have the business called SCORE will be there, and they will be our speakers, and they're really awesome because it's a free service to help businesses thrive. So if you have an issue with some part of your business, whether it's maybe you just don't know how to do the accounting right, or you have questions about your business model, they will help you with that. So please mark your calendars at noon, September 12th at Pepperoni Pub. So I wanted to make sure to say that. And then I'm going to have you help me announce all of these cool events coming up because you, as we will find out, are very intricate in a lot of these particular events that we do in Delavan.
Well, thanks, Melinda. And you're absolutely right. And first, I want to just say I can attest to the fact that the market has been a wonderful thing all summer long and will continue to be. And so, yeah, if people haven't checked it out, they need to get down there and check it out for themselves and listen to the entertainment, see some of the vendors, and naturally check out all the other businesses that we have. It's a fun time. So kudos to you and your team for doing a great job to bring that to our historic downtown throughout this summer. And in addition to that, we'll have the Scarecrow Fest coming up on September 16th. That's been going on for a number of years, and we continue to build on that each and every year. In addition to that, we've got the Beer Walk on October 21st and throughout historic downtown Delavan. That's something that we've continued to build on, but it's one of the newer events along with the wine walks. So we'll have a holiday wine walk on Saturday, November 18th. And then we're gearing up for some festivities. The Chamber always does a wonderful job with our traditional tree lighting. So that's the Friday after Thanksgiving. So come out for that, and then we're trying to expand on that. We're still coming up with some potential ideas to go along with that, but certainly shopping downtown and throughout Delavan during the Christmas season is important to show our support for buying local and looking to purchase those gifts for those that you care about this time of the year.
Exactly. Well, thank you for that. I want to add for the Scarecrow Fest, you can sign up with us at the Chamber, and you can get your kits from the Chamber as well. So if you have any questions about that, we will be fielding those at the Chamber office.
Wonderful.
And then one last announcement before we really get into the nitty-gritty with Mayor Ryan is we are going to be holding a multi-chamber event. Our month is October, and so we're going to have it at the Treasury. So mark your calendars for October 5th from 5 to 8. We are going to be featuring all the wonderful restaurants in Delavan. The theme is Taste of Delavan, and we've already got some great restaurants already signed up to supply us with a platter full of their wonderful appetizers. So please come down and mix and mingle with not only your own chamber members, but other chamber members from around Walworth County. So please put that on your calendar. October 5th, downtown at the Treasury. And one more last thing. Sorry. You think you're going to be talking today, but it's really
That's
all
okay.
about show and tell.
And that's all right.
If you have not gotten your book, the Chamber book, Explore Delavan, you can pick these up from the Chamber office. We would love for you to display them at your business. So please come and see us. Our office is always open from 9 to 3 unless we're doing things like this. Otherwise, please come and get these books and display them at your business. All right. So, as I said, we're very happy to have Mayor Ryan here today. And I want to make sure that we also say thank you to our corporate sponsors, which are Lake Lawn Resort, Cunis Auto Group, Geneva 10, Delavan Health Services, Simon's Realty Group, City of Delavan, and Piggly Wiggly. So, wow, that was a lot. We've been laughing too much, so I'm a little hoarse here. But I want to ask you a couple questions, and feel free to just take the show away. But can you tell us about your Delavan history? I know you're born and raised here. I don't think you've ever left Delavan, have you?
For a short time to go to school and could have went anywhere else, but certainly chose to come back to Delavan. And yes, first, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that you're doing a fantastic job in the time that you've been our executive director of the Chamber. And that's what it's about, is working with various stakeholders to showcase our community. And so I want to start with that and to say, thank you for the work that you're doing along with the board and the other members of the Chamber, because, as mayor or even as a city council, we can only do so much, but when we're working together and we're one big team and we're on the same page with promoting our community, promoting our businesses, and promoting a great, safe, wonderful community to live, play, and raise a family in, it helps us all. It strengthens our community, and that's what makes my job a lot easier when we can do that. So thank you for the work that you're doing.
Well, thank you.
We'll continue to do.
I appreciate that very much.
Yeah.
Everybody's been absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us about Delavan and you and where it all started.
Well, as you said, I'm proud of my deep roots to the Delavan, Walworth County area. I'm a 7th generation Walworth County, Delavan resident on my mom's side, so it's a different last name. It would have not many, necessarily remember that name. My grandpa was the last of the Gossos, G-O-S-S-O, out of Darien, technically. But I'm extremely proud of those roots and the work that they did to impact me. I came from a family that taught me the importance of getting involved and giving back and trying to make a difference in my community. And so both during my time as a student at Delavan-Delavan High School, and like you, and knowing you from back in growing up, we've seen a lot of changes, but a lot of things remain the same, that it is still a wonderful community to raise a family. And so I'm proud of the work that I've been able to accomplish, working again with the council, working with stakeholders like yours and others to kind of put Delavan, not necessarily on the map, but re-energize it, revitalize it, and get people talking about it in a great way. And we've seen that certainly, and we'll get into that throughout this chit-chat, and there's always more work to do. But again, when we're working together, we can accomplish a lot more together. So
Definitely. Tell us about your family.
I have a wonderful wife, Natalie, and 2 boys, one Trenton, who's going to be a senior at Delavan-Delavan High School, and Christopher, who's going to be in 8th grade at Phoenix Middle School. And so they're both staying active with sports, and now the football season is amongst us with the big game tonight, the big rivalry. So I'm looking forward to getting up there as an alumni football player myself. Supporting them certainly as mayor, and I would certainly encourage, and I know many of our community will come out and support them, not only tonight, but throughout their season and many of the other fall sports that we have going on.
So tell us about your work history in Delavan. I know that we chit-chatted before this, and you didn't always start on city council, but you worked here before you were a part of that.
Right. I think many people don't remember this, but I worked from 1996 through 2007 at Stock Lumber. Unfortunately, Stock Lumber is not in our industrial park anymore, but it gave me a real appreciation for working side by side with working families that are, in many cases living from paycheck to paycheck, struggling, and that hard work ethic certainly has helped shape who I am. So some think, oh, he's been in government, he works in government. Long before that, and even before that, working on my dad's side of the grandparents' farm, and again, working hard and working long days, and kudos to our farmers, not only throughout Walworth County, but throughout this great state of Wisconsin, because if it weren't for them, we wouldn't get many of the goods and services that we rely on, and certainly that has impacted me, and it's still nice. People don't necessarily know this about me, but I'll still, on many Sundays, get out to, my uncle now runs my grandparents' farm in the Cambridge area, and I'll get out there in the fresh air on a tractor. And so it might be hard for people to picture that. I'm in a suit and tie or dress clothes, but not when I'm out there, obviously. And yet it just keeps me grounded to knowing, what people go through on a daily basis, and doing their part to make our community a wonderful place, and so those have all influenced, again, who I am. I'm honored enough, as you said, to have served in city government for a while. I got elected at the age of 24. Again, after being away at college, coming back to this community and knowing that I wanted to do my part to try to make a difference and work with others that wanted to do the same. And so that was a great experience, and we've just continued to work on that and expand on that. Now I'm being honored enough to serve as mayor here in the city of Delavan.
Did you tell me 20 years you've been on city council?
Next year nearly 20 years be prior to being elected mayor. So next year will mark 25 years since I first got elected to the city council.
That's amazing. That truly is amazing.
That's where a lot of the gray hair comes from now.
I understand completely. I'm glad you said from that, not from your family life.
Right.
That's a good thing that you said it's from the serving. But we really appreciate how much you have put into this community. Even from afar, before I was brought back to Delavan, you're involved in everything. I would see that all the time on social media. You are a part of so many boards. You're a part of so many groups. And even if you're not a part of that group, I really don't know if you have any spare time, because you're at this breakfast, you're at that dinner, you're at this after hours. You really are everywhere, and I really appreciate how much you do for Delavan, because you don't just say you're going to do something, you show up and you give time, and maybe too much time, because I just know, holy cow, I don't ever see you taking a break. So I appreciate that. Tell us about all the boards that you are on.
Well, I know from a young age, I joined the Delavan Lions Club. It's a great organization in our community for now 85 years. They've been a part of our community, giving back in a number of different ways to better our community. And so at the age of 22, 23, I knew that I wanted to get involved and do, again, my part to work with others who were like-minded to make a difference. And so I continued to serve in the Lions Club, now 26 years later. I've been honored enough to serve as president of the organization a couple different times. I served in Kiwanis Club, was president of the Kiwanis Club. Unfortunately, we see too many of those types of organizations. It's hard to build the membership. It's hard to have people take time to volunteer. It is a lot to ask. And so, unfortunately, we've seen some of those stakeholder groups fall along the wayside. But the Delavan Lions Club continues to push forward and do their part, working with others to make a difference. And so that's been real rewarding. I obviously had a chance in the recent years to serve on the board of the Chamber of Commerce, and it's been great because I always knew, as an elected official on the city council, the things that the chamber works to promote, but once you get on the board, it takes you to another whole level. And again, it's just so rewarding to work with other board members over the years and currently that recognize the work that you do and that our members do, and collectively supporting our businesses and promoting our community through the events that we talked about earlier and other worthwhile projects to showcase our community. That's what continues to attract people here and want to, again, come and live, work, and play in the city of Delavan and the Delavan area as a whole. So in addition to that, I just got put on the Walworth-Rock County Board for Community Action. Again, it was something that we've got a community action office right here in the city of Delavan, and knowing some of the things that they do in the programs that they serve, whether it's Twin Oaks Homeless Shelter, or whether it's just helping people with the rent assistance or electric. But now it's taken it again to another whole level to learn even more and do my part along with that board to expand on the services and programs that they provide to, again, strengthen our community and make not only Delavan, but all of Walworth County and Rock County a prosperous area to want to live and work and raise a family. And I also have both my oldest son, Trenton, and now Christopher helped do my part to volunteer coach in the Delavan youth football. And it's just so rewarding to see a group of kids that, another whole generation of future leaders, and to be around them and help them, in the area of coaching and learning and playing a game of football, but also what it brings to represent not only your team, but represent your community. And we stress that through the coaches and through the players. And so it's just rewarding to not only, that's where I can balance some of that time, that much needed time with my family, is that, it's still taking away from some other things, but it's also being with them. And so I enjoy that. So there's a few other things, but again, it's rewarding to get out there and work with, and we've got a lot of great people on these boards and stakeholder groups that are all doing their part. And again, collectively, we can accomplish a lot more when we're working together.
Yes, without a doubt. I will attest to the people, at least on the chamber board. They are amazing. They don't just show up at meetings. They actually do events. They show up at the market. They show up everywhere, and they've been so helpful. So we've got a great bunch of folks that we serve with on the chamber. Absolutely. I know that you're also a part of the Downtown Business Association. I'm probably saying that wrong. It's called something else.
Delavan Project Management Team. But yeah, it's you hit it right on the head, is that it's something that I've been really passionate about. It's been going now 10 years. It really was sparked by knowing that we had a historic downtown where we were losing businesses. There was a lot of open storefronts. Everything was moving out to the east side and closer to the interstates. And so as somebody that loves history, in addition to the role as mayor, I'm honored to serve as president of the Delavan Historical Society. So people that know me know that I love history, all kinds of history. And so having an anchor, to the downtown and wanting to make sure that, yes, there's a little more activity, but that we can bring things back to the heart of our community and our city. And so we've done that. And it's been rewarding through this committee and through some of the work on the city council and now as mayor to revitalize the downtown. And this committee does a lot of that, whether it's through just marketing of the buildings, to know what's for sale, what's for rent, to work to identify events and create events, which many of which we already mentioned, and there's others. That's what's helped spark in the city doing their part to make the investment. But it's also, community members and businesses that are looking to our community that have certainly in the last 3.5 to 5 years looked at Delavan and specifically to our historic downtown and helped us revitalize that area. So it's nice. I know we're not only the talk amongst our local community, but we're the talk amongst other communities around us, saying, hey, look at the great things that the city of Delavan is doing, and how are you doing it? And again, it's like-minded people that are working together and rolling up their sleeves each and every day to make that difference.
And I can tell you, when I was at DOS Fest a couple weeks ago, there was a gentleman, I was in a Delavan shirt, and he played the tuba. And so he was just there. We were doing some segments for a local station, and he looked at my shirt and he said, I just passed through Delavan yesterday coming from Minneapolis. What a beautiful town.
I did. You're exactly right.
It was just really sweet to hear that.
I just talked to somebody in Madison yesterday who lives in Janesville, but was coming through, and he's like, we were just looking for a park, and we stopped in Delavan, and we checked out the parks, and that is, we're really lucky to have, the band shell in Phoenix Park. We've got a number of other parks where you can just walk and enjoy the outdoors, and so we've got a great quality of life that we've always had, again, as you and I growing up in this community, but we've certainly expanded that and revitalized it, and now we're marketing it to showcase it to others even better. So
Yes. Well, one of my questions I was going to ask you is what you're most proud of, but you're just beaming with pride with everything that you speak about, and you're involved in so many things. But is there a handful of things that, if you look the range of what you've done and how you've been involved over many years, is there a couple that stand out?
I think, when I was young, as I mentioned, 24, just getting elected, I didn't really have a mentor to kind of like share with me the ins and the outs of how local government works. It was a crash course real quick, and have, again, had the honor of serving with a lot of wonderful people over the years in the same capacity as being an alderman on the city council, as well as mayor. I'm really proud of the fact that one of the things that I created, and again, it's in collaboration and it's working with our school district and our teachers, was to create a program called Mayor for a Day. And it's along that theme of mentoring others, especially our youth, between freshmen and seniors at high school, at Delavan-Delavan High School. It's worked really well. We're going to start up our fourth school year of doing that. We're actually talking about expanding the program to include the Wisconsin School for the Deaf students.
Nice.
Yes, I think that's so important. It's the deaf community is very important to our history of Delavan and to our community. And so it's been really rewarding to work with the next generation of leaders to show and to educate them how local government works for them, because everyone thinks about state government, the federal government out in D.C., but they sometimes lose fact that right here locally we can have a faster and just as great of an impact on families' lives each and every day. And so it's not only that, but it's also potentially opening their eyes up to another career that maybe they had never thought of, not just as being a mayor or serving on the city council, but maybe being a city administrator, a city clerk, a city treasurer, a public works director. And so it's just been really, really rewarding. And again, I think it talks to the fact that sometimes we don't always, as older, and I'm getting older now, we don't always think about the younger generation and the fact that they're going to be making the decisions for you and I someday, and we want them to be educated on how that works. And so it's been really rewarding. I also, coming in as mayor, again, speaking to our parks, started a program for Adopt a Park. We do it annually each year around Earth Day to encourage stakeholder groups, individuals, community members to help us work in at least 10 of our various different parks to pick up trash and clean up and keep the environment clean and beautify the city. Many of those parks are the entrances into our community and some of the first things that people see when they're driving through, and we want to showcase those areas. And so those are really a couple of the easy things. I've started a listening session. I think it's so important to keep in touch and be accessible to the people that we work for and serve. And so shortly after becoming mayor, I do a listening session, office hours with the mayor, I call it, the first Saturday generally of each month, unless it falls on a holiday weekend, then we push it back to a week later. But it's important to keep those lines of communication open. It's important for me to listen to what people, the citizens that we serve, what ideas they have, concerns they have, what we're doing well, what we can be working on to continue to improve upon. So that's all really helpful stuff. I do want to highlight something that we've started. This is the first year of doing it, and there's been a lot of talk over the years, but it really plays on what we're trying to do and to continue that revitalization, not only in historic downtown Delavan, but throughout. And for the first time ever, we've started a facade improvement program. There's been a lot of talk, but there was never the dollars and the resources really. And so We've actually got our first business in historic downtown Delavan that applied for it, and they're going to they certainly have to have some skin in the game. They have to do their own matching of finances, but then based on a couple of bids and what work that they want to do, they go through a selection process, and so they can get a matching grant, capped at $25,000. But some of these projects, might be 10,000 or what have you, and so it's going to go a long way because thankfully people could make the investment because they had the resources, but there were many others that wanted to do it.
Right.
They wanted to keep up with the neighbors next to them,
Right.
but they just didn't have the resources, especially in a pandemic and a challenging time that we were in. And so now this program will allow those that wanted to do something they couldn't. They have an additional help to get to accomplish that. They too can spruce up their building. They can shore up some of the things within their building, and it's not just within the historic downtown. We point to a lot of the revitalization in that area, but there's other parts of our community along the Highway 50 corridor and throughout the city limits that, as they learn more about this program and potential resources, that they too can apply and try to get some grant dollars that will help them, beautify their buildings and their properties and beautify the community as a whole. So I'm excited about that.
That is
I
nice.
think it will go a long way. So
how do they do that?
they just, we're doing our part to at least market and let people know that this program exists. Then they can get a form and apply through City Hall. And it's based on a formula of scoring. So there is, we start with historical significance. And it's also based on, how big the scope of the project might be. And then it goes before the Finance Committee and ultimately the council to approve. So,
And that's inside and outside.
yeah,
is it just
yeah,
outside?
we're focusing on the outside, but
Okay.
but as we expand, it can certainly be for, heating units and other things. But we're really trying to focus on the outside because that's aesthetically what people see first and foremost. And again, it might be just tuck pointing within the bricks. So we're shoring up and continuing to have strong foundations and buildings. Again, within the historic downtown area or other parts of our city. So,
Well, that's great.
yeah, I think again, it will go to expand further what we've already been able to accomplish in the last 3.5 to 5 years with the revitalization that we've seen. So,
Well, that sounds like a wonderful program. I know there's a lot of programs that people can ask about. And so basically, City Hall is a great place to start
Yeah.
to ask on different things. Do you know how many vacancies we have
we've
in
got
the downtown area or surrounding area if people are looking to move here or make a
I'll-
location change?
I'll be honest. I mean, there's not a lot.
Right.
Certainly not like there was even 10 years ago or even 5 years ago for that matter. We've got maybe one open storefront, but I know they're working to do some remodeling within that space and open up. So it's been tough. I mean, we're definitely on people's radars, and actually, I've heard more of turnover of properties that people weren't even thinking about necessarily selling, and then someone came in and made an offer because they want to be here and they want to be a part of the action and so there's not a lot. We did have a recent sale of one of the buildings in historic downtown, the old Sun Mist Cafe building, and now they're remodeling that space, and so there's not a lot right now that we're seeing and hearing about, but we also, one of the things I'm proud of that we've seen, and especially in the last 3.5 years, is we're bringing manufacturing jobs back, good paying jobs, and so for a while there, we've had families, not only in our community but elsewhere, having to work 2 to 3 jobs to make ends meet, and that if they're doing that, unfortunately, they're not able to spend as much time supporting their children's activities, whether that be music or art or sports. And so bringing those manufacturing jobs back, good family sustaining jobs, it gets back to, a family can go and work one job
and then still be actively involved in other things. And so we've seen that. We've seen that, especially in the Prop Shaft came here. We kept Millennium here. They're a great company and a great community partner that's continuing to expand, in the tourism. Tourism has been a big thing here, but we're constantly, so with Lake Lawn Resort, it's nice to have a partner like that attracts people, and they've done a lot to reinvest in that space. And so we're actually, when we talk about what's available, we've sold the industrial park space. So I think you'll see the city council and myself trying to look to expand in other areas and see how we can provide some more space for people in the manufacturing specific business, retail, and public services, so that we can attract those jobs to our community and give people a good opportunity to make a living and prosper.
That sounds wonderful. Well, I think our chit chat has been awesome.
I think it has too.
I want to
I
remind
appreciate the
folks,
opportunity.
if they want to have a little chit chat with the chamber, to please call the chamber office at 262-728-5095 or to email us, Monica or myself, and we would love to put you right here in the hot seat and have a little chit chat with the chamber. Also, again, we want to thank our wonderful sponsors, our 2023 corporate sponsors, which would be Lake Lawn Resort, Cunis Auto Group, Geneva 10, Delavan Health Services, Simon's Realty Group, the City of Delavan, and Piggly Wiggly. So thank you so much, Ryan, for being here today, having a little chit chat with the chamber. So tune in next time and please join us for some of our chamber events. We look forward to seeing you.